Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports. Glad you could join us, and thanks for watching. Okay, so it's AJ. The same OG is back with Alexander Usyk in London. Disclaimer, all the thoughts and opinions are of my own. Therefore, I hold myself wholly and totally accountable for everything I say. And whether Usyk wins or Joshua wins, it has no significant bearing on my own personal life. I have to make this clear. Like, I just want to see the best fights in boxing, whether it be Joshua coming back and becoming three-time heavyweight champion of the world, or Alexander Usyk showing us that he is, legitimately one of the greatest heavyweights of the modern era, proving again you could move from cruiserweight to heavyweight, emulating Evander Holyfield, being a southpaw, and bettering his performance that he did before. Great, that's all good for boxing, right? So that's where I'm at with it. And people have known me. I've been doing this over about 10 years or more now. So for those who are new to the channel, and thank you for the subscribers, really appreciate it. I'm always going to speak my truth. I'm not here to follow the agendas of promoters, follow the agendas of media, because I'm within media myself. I just try and give you my truth, how I feel about the situation. And if I can get other people on board, other experts, other people within the game that know what they're talking about, I'm going to bring them in. And that's how it rolls. And if you go back into the history of BWTM Sports, there's been many an expert through this who've come through here, many a champion have walked through here. Terence Crawford, Keith Thurman, even Muhammad Ali's brother's been a part of this channel. Joran Ennis, we talk about today, Alexander Usyk, Dimitri Bivol, Tyson Fury, the list goes on. But I won't bore you those facts. We're going to go on anyway. But thank you and good evening. He's still Femi from the block. All the way from home as well. Would be a massive achievement from him. Yep, that's it. So let's get tucked into this press conference. Right. AJ's back at home. Creature Comforts is at home. And you can see AJ looks a lot more comfortable at home than he does in Saudi Arabia. That's clear as gold. Absolutely clear as gold that he's more comfortable at home. But, oh boy, I've listened to this press conference, and maybe people think I'm looking too deep into things. But the first time, when I looked at AJ, when he did that press conference in London, I said to myself, listen, my man's acting like he's a tour guide. That body language ain't right. And if he goes in there against Usyk, he's going to get his ass whooped. We saw it. I called you about body language, about Dillian White with Josie Parker. I said, if Josie Parker goes into the fight with that kind of body language, he's going to get his ass kicked and bullied. We saw it. We could go on and on. I'm not saying they get 100% right, but there is something in the whole body language thing. And this is my assessment of things, okay? So let's get into it. Good evening, Shane. Great to see you in the building. Let's get into this a second. So, good old Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, as far as I'm concerned, is the puppeteer. He is the puppeteer behind AJ, right? Because he'll sit there, as Eugene said, our Eastern European correspondent. Shout out to Eugene for doing an excellent show, giving us the insight of Alexander Usyk. And if you check in the interview, he goes back and talks about Alexander Usyk. Usyk confirms who he's and what he's about by just what Eugene said when Usyk was responding to certain things. Let me just quickly jump and see what people say. My favorite quotes: "There's simplicity in genius. He wanted to point out that he and McCracken are still on good terms. There's no love lost between us. I just feel sorry for AJ." Yeah, I do. What's up, Ingram? I'm going to tell you what's up. I'm going to tell you that when you talk about when I talked to Eddie Hearn once said to me, he said to me, within the first minute of me talking to him, he's a second-hand car salesman with a smile. I can't believe how a butchered job for press conference Hearn has put on. When Hearn was talking as the puppeteer to Joshua came out and started talking about I don't make a big deal of head-to-heads. If you don't make a big deal about head-to-heads, then I don't get it. If you don't make a big deal of head-to-heads, right, then why all the energy? Why'd you put all the energy into the head-to-heads? Why'd you stand still and trying to stand and intimidate a man if head-to-heads don't mean nothing to you? But okay, fine, fair enough. Maybe I'm looking too deep into that. But the one that got me is when he said, head-to-heads don't mean that much. A lot of people are talking about it. I'm not a man of great speeches. Bro. Let's see what we're saying here. Who was the guy that kept yelling three times in the face of man? Was so annoying. Yeah, that's normal. Somebody's got to shout it because they didn't shout. They didn't believe it. He didn't shout 3 times when he was in Saudi Arabia, but they shout 3 times in London. It's very ducking Usyk if you don't want to fight me. I want to focus on the Joshua thing before I get distracted, right? Joshua talks about, I don't make much of the head-to-heads. It doesn't mean anything. Kind of brushing down what people have been saying about Joshua, that head-to-heads with the Reese situation, with the Usyk situation, that he's not been all there. And I'm like, wait, this is stuff you've been pulled up about, and you've been pulled up about it, and the fact you've been pulled up about it, you have to go and address it in a press conference. Because we've sat there and pulled you up about it and said, look, bro, your attitude in the press conference ain't right. The way you conduct yourself, ain't right. It's weak. So you've come out and done that. You kind of papering over the cracks. Tyson says, things are cool about me and Rob McCracken. Who asked you about Rob McCracken? Who asked you about Rob McCracken? I want to know who asked you about Rob McCracken. Yeah, things are cool between me and Rob. Yeah, no love lost there. What do you mean there's no love lost there? If there's no love lost, that means that there's an issue between you and somebody else. Oh dear. Your video quality is very poor. Why? That's a good question. Is it poor? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Seems pretty good from my end. Check the resolution from your end, bro. I don't know. He used to say, why is your picture quality so poor? I don't know. Let me see. I don't know. People saying the picture quality. How does it look? Let me pull this up myself on my YouTube, because I'll check to myself. Let me see what's going on here. If there is an issue, then I'll look into it. What's going on here? Come on, Leslie. Try it this way. Hold on a second. I want to test this. Let's see what's going on here. Sorry a second. Can't see anything yet. So press the play button. You see? As it advertising. Give me a second, people, because if there is an issue with viewing, then no, quality's fine. Quality's fine. Let's do something here quickly. Hold on a second. Everyone give me a second. Apologies. There's a problem with my quality. You're right. There is a problem with my quality. Give me a second. I'm going to make a slight adjustment. Please bear with me. Should take me a second. And then we can get back into this show. Let's come down here. Ah, something I forgot to do. Right, bang. Thank you. Right. All right. So let's go now. I don't know much more. Let's go on. Is this? I don't see King Joshua losing this fight. Okay, let's move on. Going down the page. When's the Ultra next show? You asked me yesterday. Okay. Oh, Joshua don't care about social media, but he's addressing it. Hilarious. Shout out Ingram and the chat. Shout out to everyone in the room. Volts. BG London salute, bruv. So I was saying, so it seems to me in this press conference, that Joshua was seen to be papering over the cracks that people have been seeing at the press conference, at various press conferences done previously. I don't know why he felt the need to justify his movements, but anyway, we'll leave it as that. The second thing is, I noticed how Eddie will say, Anthony, how desperate are you? How desperate are you to win the titles back? I mean, the fact that you have to ask a man how desperate he is to win a title back, you have to feed words into him. Like, how much do you want these sweeties? How do you really want these sweeties? How much do you want it? Surely the fighter himself should be able to come out and say, look, you know what? I'm up for this fight. Biggest test of my career. You know, he says he's the same G. Well, you can't be the same G, because if you go in the ring as the same G, you're going to get your ass kicked again. And Usyk made it very clear in the press conference that, you know what? You can be different, but I can be different too. Joshua looked more comfortable in the press conference today. Hands were moving about a lot during stare down. Yeah. But we all look good when we're in front of our friends and we're in London in comfortable places. But he didn't look comfortable in Saudi Arabia, and that's where the fight's going to be. Ultimately, the press conference seemed more to be about addressing pointers that people had mentioned rather than the fight itself. And him understanding, he said, I'm not going to make the same mistakes again. And it just seemed to me, in the way Garcia and Joshua were talking, Garcia went, well, the first thing I noticed was the size difference. Well, what's changed? What's changed? Has Joshua got significantly bigger and significantly taller? What's changed? For me, I wouldn't be looking at the size, because Joshua was the same size when he fought Usyk the first time and got his ass kicked. So size won't win him the fight. Boxing ability, footwork, boxing IQ, those are things that are going to win a fight, not size and power. Yeah, size and power matter, but if you've got no accuracy and you can't put yourself in a position to throw punches, you can get countered and knocked out. So I didn't understand what they were getting about. Oh, you're seeing, what you see Usyk and Joshua. Oh, there's a big size difference, man. And the PC was like last fight. Usyk had a better answer to everything. Brilliant, AJ. You see what? Brilliant, AJ. What I noticed as well is two different people, two different chapters of their life. You've got a man in AJ who's made money and good luck to him, and he's been very successful with money. And you look at someone like Usyk who's saying, look, this isn't about money for me or fame. And he's basically directing it back to Joshua and say, look, you're the guy here that's for the money and for the fame and want to be the 3-time heavyweight champion of the world, and you're AJ and you're this and that. You are the superstar here. I'm the guy that's going to come in, get the job done, get the job done, get the hell out. And he mentioned something else about his soul. Usyk said something about keeping his soul, but not selling his soul. He said he wants to keep his soul. That was very telling for me. That was one guy, it seemed to me, who was genuine, who was real, who was in touch with his emotions, who was in touch with who he is, who wasn't scripted and knew what he was about and the journey he was on. And on the other corner was somebody who was media fed or media scripted and controlled. That's what it seemed to me. From two different, one guy who's been taught what to say and is continuing now being taught how to fight, and another guy who knows how to fight, knows how to box, and is now in a position where I can get better now. So for Joshua's journey, he has to be better than he was the first time, and then be better than the Usyk that comes the second time. All Usyk has to do is be better than he was the first time, and we'll see. But there's some things that cannot change. There's some things that no matter what Joshua says, no matter what Robert Garcia says, no matter what Eddie Hearn talks about desperation and being a puppeteer, there's some things that will not change. AJ saying he's still the same G. Well, he's lied. You cannot be the same G. You got smashed to bits in America. You came back and you looked gun shy against Ruiz in a rematch. You then decided to box the boxer and get beat in your hometown in front of all them people, and the embarrassment of getting beat in front of all those people. The students said things about you which upset you. You cannot be the same G. You cannot, because you're not the landlord. And somebody said about the old AJ. Those are all not the things you want to be hearing. Because the old AJ was the guy who was knocking out guys he was meant to knock out. The old AJ, before he fought Ruiz, had all those problems. Couldn't block a left hook. So if you want the old AJ, you're looking at an inexperienced fight. You can't have it both ways. You can't ask for the old AJ, but he was learning on the job, AJ. So the guy who was learning on the job, you're saying now, is the best AJ. The guy who was learning on the job. Remember the learning fights AJ was having, even when he was world champion? So that AJ, and if you need to go back to the old AJ, why do you need Robert Garcia? Could you get Tony? Is it Tony Sims you could get back? I'm a bit confused. And I'm a bit confused for boxing fans who think the old AJ is better than the new AJ. The new AJ knows that if he gets clipped, he can get knocked out. The new AJ is quite realistic about that. So in some senses, I prefer the new AJ because there's a realism in his head that says, listen, if I go out there like an idiot, I can get clapped and I can get dropped. The old AJ is very deluded to thinking he could just walk through people and not get hit back. And he was inexperienced. So talking about the old AJ, he's going back to the old AJ. You know, I say Usyk saying he's going back to the old Usyk. Usyk says, I'm coming back and I'm going to be better. Let me tell you something now. If the old AJ comes out and Usyk decides to go onto the front foot, this fight can be finished inside 5 rounds. There are people in the world of boxing that have more faith in AJ than AJ has in himself. There are more people in boxing that have faith in AJ, old AJ, than AJ has in himself. Be interesting who's refereeing the bout. Good. It's a bit disappointing Usyk chose to fight in Saudi, though, helping them sports wash car crimes. Their car crimes they're committing in Yemen. If he had a 50-50 choice in the venue, as Eddie tells us. Ingram, I agree with you about old AJ. The old AJ would probably have got a slightly higher chance against Usyk, more chance of getting KO'd. Chin stuck in, I agree. The old AJ is the problem. The old AJ, go watch London 2012, LOL. The Mexican AJ. So what Garcia's going to give us? They've told us already what the game plan is. The game plan is go back to old AJ and be aggressive like a Mexican, which is a complete disaster. Look, I'm not telling you Usyk's invincible. In fact, if you go to Usyk's body, that's the way to win. But, you know, going to Usyk's body leaves you exposed. The Mexican. So for me, it ain't good. It's not good. Listen, you have a trainer in Robert Garcia that says his fighter's got mental problems, and a trainer in Robert Garcia says his fighter lacks self-belief. This is a trainer saying his fighter lacks self-belief. That he's a big guy, he's a strong guy, and he has to give AJ notes. This is not boding well, people. Look, I'm not saying AJ can't go out there and beat Usyk. He steps in the ring, he throws the right shots. He's a big dude who can punch. It can happen. In heavyweight boxing, one punch, that can happen. However, going in like a caveman, trying to charge Usyk is very, very risky business. And that can be brought to halt very quickly by Usyk going onto the front foot and pushing AJ into the back foot. All Usyk has to do, in all honesty, all Alexander Usyk has to do is make AJ in the center of the ring and hit him with a straight left hand and push him back. And he can push him back. Okay? There are people who are chatting some nonsense saying you couldn't be pushed back. All Usyk has to do is get onto the front foot and push AJ back. And once he does that, game over. Because AJ cannot fight off the back foot. He cannot. He cannot fight under pressure. He doesn't like pressure. He doesn't like people getting close to him. He doesn't like it being put on him. He likes to be able to get his shoulders going and do that. He likes to do that and be on the front foot. AJ's brilliant like that. Back AJ up. Back AJ up. You first of all take away his power, and B, you take away his confidence. Garcia in it for the bag, it seems. Well, he might well be. Oh, by the way, isn't this the same AJ who told us that he didn't need to go to America? Now he's changing the script to say, yeah, I was in Sheffield, and I watch a lot of YouTube box, and I know my boxing, and I've went out to America. AJ. Nonsense. With AJ's poor gas tank, how would you change your style? How would I change your style? He'd have a complete revamp. He would have a complete revamp. Yeah. First of all, he would pay Lennox Lewis some respect. And he would pay a lot of them OG heavyweights some respect as well. That's what he would do first. The mindset has to change. Iwi Chisora is very physically strong. Guy couldn't bully you. There you go. He needs to learn to box so he don't gas. His gassing comes from his nervousness, like David Price. Furthermore, guess he was one of the hardest punchers, didn't put a dent in Usyk. There you go. Let's say AJ wins this fight. When does AJ fight next? Fury, Joyce, Wilder, all AJ as food. I don't know. AJ v Wilder, I think. He also said after his defeat, he doesn't need a trainer to beat Usyk. This is the same G. He's right. He's the same G. He's telling you, he's letting you know exactly what the game plan is. AJ and his team are not smart. AJ's going to go back to the aggressive, all guns blazing, trying to get their hands on Usyk and trying to make a fight of it. That's what's going to happen. That is exactly what's happened. Exactly it. There's no mystery about what AJ is going to do. He's going to come out, try and jump onto the front foot and take the fight to Usyk, which would be quite funny because if he does that and Usyk has to come onto the front foot in the first round, that game plan is destroyed. Because what can AJ do? AJ can't box Usyk. That's clear. That avenues out the window. We know that AJ cannot box Usyk. That avenue's out of the window. Forget it. So AJ got to go for the knockout, which was the game plan, the original game plan. You can't make the same mistake twice. Well, I argue, I think you can make the same mistake twice. That should be the only thing. AJ doesn't respect heavyweights of the old. He doesn't. That's why he's in the shit he's got now. That's why he's got a Mexican trainer. How many great Mexican heavyweights do you know? Come back to me on that. AJ needs to get rid of this entire awful team. Ultimately, inch order and change and grow. Yes, he does. I think AJ Fernandez is a good trainer other than AJ. Good trainer, but is he a good heavyweight trainer? Is he a good heavyweight trainer? That's the question. I'm pretty sure Usyk wins this by KO. Usyk knows Joshua can't fight off the back foot. Reckon it's going to be similar to Fury Wilder too. Not really. Not really. Because Wilder wasn't gun shy going into the fight. Wilder hadn't been knocked out, and Wilder wasn't on the verge of being stopped. Well, no, I don't quite see the comparison there. I'm not sure about Fury Wilder too. But I am sure that AJ's got no other game plan apart from go forward. Did you hear what AJ said as well? He's let the cat out of the bag. Tuck up. Tuck up. You hear what he said? Tuck up. So that means march forward and tuck. Stay tight. March forward, stay tight, get close to Usyk and fight. He said it. Tuck up. So the stuff that Garcia's been teaching him, he's already saying it out. Tuck up. Who says tuck up in a press conference? Tuck up. That is boxing talk. That's their notes. Oh my word. Fernandez has no experience. He's never learned under no trainer, a former personal trainer. Oh, there you go. Josh needs to go to. Tuck up and get knocked out. People are saying to me, but AJ didn't get stopped. AJ didn't get knocked out. He got dropped many times by Andy Ruiz. But he didn't get knocked out. So they're saying AJ's got a good chin based on that. Okay, fine, fair enough. I'm not sure AJ can produce the work rate to settle Usyk. I'm not sure AJ. See, with the Ruiz fight, he went out there and tried to blast Ruiz out there, right? And left himself open to the left hook, which was always a vulnerability, which I brought back from the Dillian White fight. And I said that if he gets caught with that left hook in an exchange with Ruiz, Ruiz will jump at him and knock him out because Ruiz has got faster hands and put his combinations together better. We saw that, AJ got done, right? So this situation here, if AJ comes out in the first fight, I said, if he comes out and boxes, he's finished. Now this fight, he's going to come out charging, tuck up, tight, and try and get close to Usyk. That's it. That's the game plan. So you know what AJ is going to do now. What do you think Bashir would do if he was training AJ for this fight? Work on Usyk's weaknesses, and he would train him as a heavyweight. He would train him using heavyweight knowledge. He would train him to be a good big man. He would train him how to be a big man. AJ hasn't learned how to fight like a big man. For example, when AJ gets to you, he ties you up and he leans on you, right? That's what Lennox used to do. Grab you, tie you up, lean you up, hold on you, lean on you. Lennox wouldn't have been a good mentor for this fight because he's never fought a southpaw. The southpaw he should have fought was Chris Burden. That fight never happened. Alexander Sky is not suited to heavyweight. Taking a shot to land a shot, danger. Of course it's danger. Long time Ingram. Hey, Steph, bro, what's going on? AJ has more lyrics than Prince. LOL. He has indeed. I'm still the same G. Usyk will be more danger in Saudi if he wins than if he was back in Ukraine. LOL. Yeah. AJ has never leaned on his opponent. Exactly. Bashir isn't even strong enough to do pad work. Be real. Yeah, that sounds like a matchroom guy. Definitely sounds like matchroom. Bye, mate. See you later. Definitely sounds like a matchroom guy. If you believe that pad work is going to save AJ, then you're definitely part of that AJ mob. You're probably one of those guys one of his mates. Pad work is going to think. If you think pad work's going to win this fight for AJ, it proves where your head is, mate. What the hell? Yeah, exactly. It was one of them trolls. So got rid of them now. Easily got rid of. So yeah, that's the one thing that's annoying about AJ fans. When we would tell you back then about AJ that he needed to leave Matchroom, he needed to get himself with a good quality world-class trainer. The man's talking about that now. Now he's talking about that. And he's more or less in the last chance saloon. Pad work. Uncle Bashir's in the train, he'll fight in Virgin Gym. Let them know, please, Shane. That's why I just blocked him. It's probably one of the Matchroom Detone guys. Anthony, pad work is useless for boxing. Also, someone else can do that. Exactly. Yeah. Like Adam Booth. I'm sure I've seen Adam Booth fighters do pad work, and Adam Booth is doing the pad work with them. Yeah. So I don't know what he's talking about. He's definitely a troll. So you know the troll's coming in the room. So listen. Little word to DAZN and Anthony. Eddie, if you spent more time looking after your fighters instead of coming on here watching videos and trying to script press conferences, you might have some pay-per-view fighters now. Just a tip. Give me a 1-2 AJ. Give me a jab AJ. Give me a left hook AJ and an uppercut AJ. AJ. Usyk cracked the AJ code in 11th and 12th round. He's coming forward. He's coming forward in rematch. There you go. This is round 13. This is round 13. And I said to people, right, in round 12 is when Usyk suddenly put the foot down and said, right, you can have some. And as soon as he put the foot down on AJ was rocking around on the ropes, ready to fall down. Or if I'm Usyk, I tell you, this is what I tell Usyk. Listen, I want you to work on speed and fast combinations, in and out. Zip in, draw the fake, whack him with a straight left hand. Make sure in the first round you connect very hard with the left hand and make him shake to his boots. You make him shake to his boots and remind him. And as soon as you see him hurt, go for the kill. As soon as you see him hurt, go for him, because he's not going to respond. He'll just look at the Ruiz fight. When AJ's hurt, look at the Ruiz fight. Just keep throwing punches. And all AJ's going to do is stumble into ropes. That's what's going to happen. As soon as you hurt AJ, jump on him, get him out of there. So the minute you get him, as soon as he stumbles back and starts laughing, jump on him, because he's not going to throw anything back significantly. That's what I tell Usyk. Look at Andy Ruiz fight. As soon as he gets hurt, and he'll make it very visible he gets hurt, Garcia will not be able to stop. There's things that Garcia cannot change. The way AJ reacts to a punch, he cannot change that. He cannot change the way AJ defends himself when he gets hit and he gets hurt. He cannot change the way AJ responds to nerves and big fight situations, because again, AJ's away from home. Again, AJ's in a situation where, unlike Andy Ruiz, where he came in terrible shape, If Usyk comes in good shape and he gave him a good ass whooping, he's looking at that same Usyk again. There's a different situation. Do they realize Usyk only gave 80%? I will give AJ credit in the last round. He showed heart not to go down from the Usyk barrage. I will give Eddie Hearn credit for getting round with that to ring the bell, because if he didn't ring the bell, there would be no rematch. There would not be no rematch. Need 10-second break after throwing the combo. Remember Mikey saying, I see something at Errol Spence. Please remind me how that fight went. Still time for Uncle B. Oh, God. No, you know what? Leave it be. Leave it be. Listen, leave it be. Right? Leave it be. We know what AJ is going to do. I just wish him, I'm not being a hater. I wish him good luck. And if see, the thing is, Usyk would have fought 1,001 people in the amateur ranks that would have come charging at him with faster hands and just as good punching power. Matchroom will push that the boxer wins rematch if AJ was the better boxer. Wow. Well, you know, by the way, just a side note. If anyone remembers me talking about Matchroom selling up and disappearing out of boxing, smash and grab, Hearn, did I not mention that? Are they not selling up Matchroom now? Did I not say this? Did I not quote this about 4 or 5 years ago? I said this. Serious question, Ingram. Could Stewart have done with AJ what he did with Vlad, or AJ more badly affected when hurt? Let me remind you something. The great Emmanuel Stewart did not take on gold medal winning Audie Harrison. Audie Harrison went to Emmanuel Stewart, and Emmanuel Stewart rejected a gold medal winning champion. So there's no guarantee that AJ would have gone with Stewart. In fact, there's nothing to convince me that he would have done. He would have still gone to McCracken. Even if Stewart was around today, he still would have gone to McCracken. And he still would be training that amateur gym. AJ needs to watch the Breeders fight if he has any chance of winning or making it close. Are you comparing Breeders to AJ? No chance, never. They're valued at 1 billion. They might be valued at 1 billion. They're valued a lot of money. But at the end of the day, like I've said before, it was going to happen. Usyk knows AJ is coming forward. His fight. He's training for it now. Yeah, that's it. Listen, AJ was coming forward the first fight. He's meant to be coming forward the first fight. So what's new? What is new about AJ? When AJ looks at Usyk, he sees a man that's kicked his ass. When Usyk looks at AJ, he looks at a guy that he almost stopped. A big dude that he got almost knocked out. That knew that if he beat him, he was going to have a rematch. Robert Garcia told the world his game plan. Yeah, that's it. Not cool. Not cool at all. But anyway, that's AJ for you. I haven't got much more to say about it, but I'll tell you this much. If he comes out with that game plan, deserves to get knocked out, and shame. Usyk mentality is another level as well. You see the Ukrainian war will fire him up. He means business. Yep, we said it. We had a Ukrainian, Eastern European correspondent, Eugene, in the house. If you've not listened to that, the truth about Usyk, Joshua 2, listen to that stuff about Alexander Usyk. I mean, it's incredible the insight he gives about Alexander Usyk. Usyk's not about money. He's not about fame. He's not about the money or the fame, but he believes Joshua is. Actually, I believe Usyk thinks that Joshua's in boxing for the wrong reasons. Rematch shouldn't really be happening. Usyk was mandatory. Well, is what it is when you deal with Matchroom. So, any other thoughts that people have got? By the way, I see Andy Rees has lost a lot of weight. I wouldn't think that's the best thing to do. I thought Andy Ruiz was fine the weight he was when he fought AJ. I told you all about the state of Andy Ruiz mentally before he fought AJ. And the reason why Andy Ruiz went missing for that while before he came back and fought AJ was because the press were hounding him about his weight. Andy Ruiz has gone to the extreme now to lose all the weight. I would suggest to Andy Ruiz, bro, what are you doing? You lose all that weight and you lose all that durability. You won't be the same fighter anymore. That sturdiness that you had, losing all that weight's not good, bro. It's not good. If Ortiz catches you, you're in trouble. What video was that? Yeah, it's the video I uploaded for this one. You'll see Usyk, and it's got Usyk on the front of it, his t-shirt. The coach you choose is very important. Real Madrid brought back Don Carlo and snatched the Champions League. He's programmed the team's mindset. Well, I agree with you there. That's why, actually, on TV today, I was asked a question about Mikel Arteta, which I call a complete loser. I told people that the mindset, I said, Arteta, there was no way Arteta was going to get Arsenal into the top four. I'm going strange slightly. I said, the reason why is the mindset. I said, that guy's not a winner. The guy's not a winner. He's not a winner. When you win the FA Cup, he's not a winner. He's not a guy who's going to go win your Champions League like that, right? I said, what they should have done, they should have brought in Ancelotti. They should have Ancelotti instead of Arteta. Ancelotti was available at the time. They wanted to sign Arteta. Well, you get what you deserve in the end. Ruiz needs to be hence 235, 240 is good for him. I agree with you there. Andy Ruiz punch resistance will be effective with his weight loss. I totally agree with you there. Terrible move, but he wants to be body beautiful. So Andy Ruiz, that's a mental thing of Andy Ruiz. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. My apologies, I'm not looking straight into the camera. It's the way my camera is angled. I want to thank you all so much for watching the show. As always, this has been BWTN Sports. Thank you all so much for subscribing. Really appreciate the subscriptions. Please do get the videos. Do share them across social media. Smash the like button. Many of you are in the room. It says it's 34, 35 people in the room. Do please smash the like button. Really appreciate it. 100% agree with it. You need to start doing football videos. I'd love to hear your views about the footy. I do football videos, but I just do FIFA videos. Maybe I'll start doing some football videos when I've got time. I'm overloaded with cricket at the moment, and on cricket, then I'm doing media. I think I'm on national television twice a week, and on radio as well. So it's a lot of work going at the moment. Do check out the videos I do post as well on the playlists. Do check the playlists out. And by the way, just want to let you all know something else. I have now a new app that is out. Let me get that for you. It's not there. Oh, there it is. Here. No. All right. So if you go to Google, I will do. If you go to Google, at Google Play and go to Lagos, do that. Put that there. Do that. Google that. Oh, no, not Google. Go to Google Play. So if you got Android, please install Lagos Cricket Academy TV. Check it out. Get on there. That's a new app that I've made. So check that out. Mikel Arteta is not good enough. Absolutely garbage. The fight is going to be different than the last one. AJ would beat Usyk in the rematch. And if that happens, Usyk will be exposed and many fighters will begin to call him out. Your thoughts? I don't think Usyk would be exposed. In what way would he be exposed? Undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world, won the titles in everyone else's backyard, unified heavyweight champion of the world, beat the monster. No, I'm not. I'm not at all. I'm not. So, yeah, but cricket's brought me here, so yeah, but I'm not Nigerian, no. My parents are Caribbean. So there you go. Trinidad, Tobago, and Grenada. But the conversion's going well though. I'd say it's great. So do check it out. A lot of stuff going on there. So do check that stuff out. Right, I think I'm done here. Thank you all so much for watching. Do check out the playlist. Check out my FIFA 22 playlist. I've actually got Dele Alli retiring from Everton Football Club and becoming a coach for an Italian side. Doing well there at the moment with that. Check out my cricket videos. They're on this playlist as well. And of course, check out the boxing videos as well. Right, this is BWTM Sports Gaming. Please share the videos on WhatsApp. Share the videos across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want to share them. Do share them. I'm out. Thanks for watching. As always, always a pleasure.